We're gonna do a quick little intro and then we'll jump right into what you came here to see. My name is Tyler McNutt and I run my own videography business called Boat Dock Productions. With this channel, I want to deliver to you information based on my personal professional experiences. So that way you can find your path to success quicker and easier than I did. And if that's something that you're trying to do, subscribe and let's grow together. So I've been doing weddings for about 2 years now, and today we're gonna cover the top 5 things that I wish I knew before I started shooting wedding videos. So before I shot my first ever wedding video, I actually bought this book on Amazon called Producing Wedding Videos for the First Time by Herbert Johnson. Some of the stuff I'm gonna share with you today will be out of this book, but a lot of it will also be from my personal experience. I'll link the book in the description if you wanna check it out. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. At number 5, we have the couples meeting. So before the wedding day even begins, I like to meet with my couples. We talk about everything from when and where is the wedding going to happen to how do you want your video to look, how do you want it to feel, how do you want it to sound. We cover a large variety of topics. Meeting your couple before the wedding day is a great way to put a name to the face and to start building a relationship with them. Also, it really just makes everybody more comfortable. Most importantly, it makes the couple more comfortable, but also it really makes you more comfortable with the couple as well. So I have an online document that I use every single time I have a couples meeting. I fill it out based on what the couple wants, so it's unique to them. I've rebuilt this document multiple times based on the needs of different couples. If you would like to use this document for your own couples meetings, I'll link it in the description below. At number 4, we have the equipment you should be using and how you should be using it. So here's a quick list of the essential equipment that you'll need for your first wedding video. So first and foremost, you have your camera. Really, any type of camera will do you just fine. I personally like DSLRs and I use the Canon 80D. Additionally, I really like to have a 2-camera setup while I'm shooting at weddings. If you don't have 2 cameras, that is a-okay. We will cover how to get around that here in a little bit. With the camera, you're gonna need lenses as well. I personally like to use zoom lenses. I use an 18mm that goes up to 135. I found that this gives me a good range of different situations that I will encounter on a wedding day. You can't always find the time to be fumbling around with your lenses and switching them out, so I found that a zoom lens works best for me. Next, you're gonna need a tripod. This is very essential for wedding videos, preferably one with a cinema head so that way your pans and tilts look smooth and professional. Having a smooth and steady shot for wedding videos is very, very, very important. Next, you got your audio equipment. There's really 2 ways that I go about this. The first being a lavalier microphone. Really, you just attach it to the outside of their shirt or the edge of their jacket, whoever it be. Maybe it's the groom, maybe it's the officiant. Another way that I'll collect audio is through an audio recording device such as an H4n. You just plug this into the audio system to get audio from the microphones being used during the ceremony or the reception. The venue will typically know where you can hook up your audio recorder for the ceremony, and for the reception you typically communicate with the DJ to hook up to their table. And that jumps right into number 3. Talk to the other vendors who are going to the event. And by this, I mean reach out to the DJ, reach out to the photographer, anybody else who might be able to help you out on the big day. You can get this information from the couple at the couple's meeting, and if they don't have those other vendors booked yet, just tell them that you would like their information once they get them. There's a couple reasons why you want to do this. The first being that the other vendors there are likely not first-time vendors. This is not their first wedding that they're doing. For example, for my first wedding, I would reach out to the photographer and I would say, hey, this is my first wedding video. Can I just kind of follow your lead on the different angles, different shots that you're getting? And when it comes to the DJ, they'll know exactly where you can hook up to their equipment to get audio. Finally, it's really just a great networking opportunity. If you get your name out there to people who are already in the industry, they might refer you to couples that they work with in the future. At number 2, let's talk about second shooters. See what I did there? 2 second. I'm so funny. Okay. So when I did my first wedding, I did it all by myself. And I was running from camera to camera during the ceremony, and this was very stressful for myself and kind of distracting for the guests. This problem would have been totally solved if I had literally just asked somebody to come and be my second shooter. This can really be anybody. For one of my weddings, I had my girlfriend and my cousin be my shooters because I was a groomsman during the ceremony. Aww. Really, you just have to give your shooters a good rundown of what you expect from them when the cameras are rolling. For example, I tell the second shooters that I'm working with to set the frame, set the focus, and then hands off the camera. The only reason they should ever touch the camera again is if the subject leaves the frame. The reasoning for this is because if they touch the camera, odds are it's gonna get really shaky, and that makes it really difficult for editing. Typically, I will ask somebody who already owns a camera to be my second shooter, because I only own one camera, so asking them to bring their own camera provides that two-camera setup that I really like. And finally, if you want this second shooter's help in the future, it's a good idea to pay them. And I understand that probably raises more questions than answers, but that's why for number 1, we're gonna cover pricing. Probably one of the biggest mysteries for videographers when they're first starting out is how to price themselves. And now I'm gonna give some real numbers so that way you have a good idea of what I was charging for my first few weddings, but please don't take this to heart because it can really vary depending on location and some other elements. So for my first 2 wedding videos, I charged $700 and $800. And my couples that I was working with knew that these were my first wedding videos. When it comes down to it, pricing is really just figuring out how long you're gonna be working for. You're gonna have to figure out how long you're gonna be shooting for and how long you're gonna be editing for. Now that can be kind of hard to estimate at first. My first videos that I did, I went way over my estimated time limit. Personally, I was aiming for about $20 an hour, and I ended up getting about $15 an hour for those first videos. And this is due to that extra editing time. I think I spent about a little over 50 hours editing my first wedding video when I thought it was gonna take me maybe 20 or 30. And I try to pay my second shooters anywhere from $150 to $200 for a day's worth of shooting. And for my first few videos, I paid my second shooters anywhere from $50 to $100. All right, everybody, that wraps up today's video. If you did enjoy what you see today, please subscribe. I'm really doing this to try and help both you and myself grow. I'll be talking about weddings, I'll be talking about starting my business, I'll be talking about advertisements, you name it. If I've done it, we'll talk about it. So, thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.